Hey everybody, we're back with DBZ Card Strategy. This is going to be one of our local tournament nights. The fellow on the left is also named Mario, not a typo. We had fought earlier in the evening with a slightly different build on my side. He beat me so badly I wasn't sure what to think. I made some adjustments and we'll see how that played out. I begin my turn, I draw 3 cards. Looks like I come up with the Namekian Onslaught. That's a double energy attack, but only if you have 2 or more Dragon Balls. Looks like I pass. I rejuvenate Namekian Resistance and Energy Block. Mario begins his turn. Looks like he grabs Lunar Ray, Head Knock, and I can't seem to see the other card. He's playing Blue Resolute Mastery. That's the one, of course, that gives the ability to discard cards and get at major effects, and also has a slight damage buff, which is very effective. Okay, I place Namekian Reinforced Drill into play. That's the one that boosts my damage, and it gets stronger if I have more Dragon Balls in play, which will be very effective. I power myself up to full, so I finish my planning step. I go ahead and pass or rejuvenate Hurry Quest. That's going to be pretty straightforward because it's not useful early game. I don't have enough Dragon Balls in play to make use of its effect. He places Blue Key Build-Up, a very strong energy attack that comes from a setup into play. He passes and rejuvenates Blue Head Knock. My guess is that he doesn't really need him this early game. It would be the big idea. Okay, my turn. I place a Dragon Radar in play. That's a very important card that allows me to be able to summon any particular drill from my, any particular Dragon Ball from my deck and be able to make good use of them. I'm carrying some better cards in my hand. I'm carrying basically 2 of the parts I need. I have a Leaping Kick in my hand and a Gut Punch. I have a physical block. He places Oolong into play using, Gohan, level 1 Gohan's ability. Now, for those of you who don't know, the ally Oolong allows all Dragon Balls in play to suddenly become useless. It blanks them so they have no effects. He's an anti-Dragon Ball card. Okay, I cut his deck as is customary. Okay, and then I probably, if I remember this particular hand, I'm probably going to open up with the Mastery. Or am I just going to go for it? Oh, I'm going to go for it. So Namekian Leaping Kick is very powerful. It has the effect that says you can go ahead and yank 2 Dragon Balls out of your deck, banish them from the game, and if you do, go ahead and go up a level. And I do that. I jump up to level 2 with my first action. A lot of times, and especially if you go back about a set and a half, this particular tactic really didn't have much of a counter to it. I'm starting to think that as time goes on, Panini's going to go ahead and keep these sorts of effects in check. Okay, I advance. I hit it with 5 stages. He makes an attempt to block that particular attack. I would come to find out later that his deck actually has relatively few blocks, if any at all. He uses basically a blue kamikaze damage. Oh, he plays a card, of course, Confrontation. That's what lets him look at my hand, and then he's able to go ahead and grab it and shuffle a card from my hand back into the deck. Kind of stinky. See that card you shuffle back is called the Namekian Gut Punch. It's able to destroy allies on the field instantly. It's not a hit effect. It doesn't have to be successful. It just goes off. Basically, that saved him everything. I would have go ahead and yanked Dragon Ball out with Dragon Radar and had a very interesting time. Okay, I hit him with Piccolo's level 2 physical attack, and I knocked him well to 0, and he took a little bit of life card damage because he went well past 0. Piccolo's his level 2 power says at the end of combat I may pull any styled card to top or bottom of my deck, so I just will make sure I do that at the end of this combat. And it's of course his turn, and it looks like he's holding a blue head knock, and is that a shifting maneuver he's holding? I can't tell. And if it was, he probably should have stopped that last attack. Okay, don't waste it. You already know I have a block in my hand. He's probably going to fire off Blue Key Build-Up. Like we said, that's a setup, a card you place into play, but is also an attack. It's something only Blue has. So I take 7 life cards, which is a pretty significant hit. I use a good amount of endurance. And the hard part here is that Confrontation really messed up my little strategy, as you can tell. I grab my Mastery. which I probably didn't really need to at this point. I feel like I probably was doing the wrong thing. I already know he has a head knock in his hand, so he can knock me into a 0. He could potentially crit me on an attack, so it could actually backfire pretty horrendously. The real thing I could think to do is to put Wall 6 into play, and hopefully I can hold on to it long enough to be able to rejuvenate it back to the deck at the end of combat. I'm just going to use it to steal a little bit of anger. But then again, what does it matter? He has head knock in his hand. So I'm going to say that maybe I got my strategy a little bit off course when he used his confrontation on me. Okay, he uses Draining Blast. This is a free energy attack for 5 life cards. It's 4 on the card and 1 for his blue style mastery there. So you can see on the left there. Okay, he discards blue head knock for his mastery. The mastery allows him to be able to discard a card. It prevents the next 4 stages of 4 life cards of damage, and then allows him to draw a card immediately. It's very effective. It makes use of a lot of older cards. Okay, he lowers my anger to 0 with blue head knock, but thankfully I do stop it with reinforced block that prevents him from being able to steal Dragon Balls for the remainder of combat. I do the Ball 6's effect. I place it to the bottom of the deck, rejuvenate the top card of my discard pile. This is basically just to get it out of harm's way. Okay, I'm going to resolve Piccolo's level 2 effect. Well, it lets me float any styled card to the top of my deck. I go ahead and pull out my holographic Namekian leaping kick. Shuffle my deck. Place it back here on the top of my deck, according to the effect, leave it there, and then begins his turn. Looks like he has overpowering attack. Looks like he has upward blast. That's one that lets you place a setup from your hand into play and raise your anger in the process. It's terribly effective if your deck properly kitted out for it. Okay, he powers everybody up. His main personality Gohan at Oolong. Looks like he's going to go ahead and pass. He rejuvenates the blue block that lets you, if you discard it, lets you banish it to draw a card. I put Visiting the Past to play, ultra powerful card. I rejuvenate good old Chin Grab and pass. You remember, of course, when entering combat, Visiting the Past lets you grab any card from your discard pile. The stinky thing was I would have a Gut Punch in the discard pile if specifically his card Confrontation didn't shuffle it into my deck as opposed to discard it. So usually Stare Down, the villain's version of that card, is much stronger, but in this case it would have benefited me more. Okay, looks like he's doing a quick check of his discard pile. He has 2 or 3 head knocks in the discard pile. Head knock, by the way, is the strongest card in all of blue style. It has endurance, it does life card damage, it can potentially crit, and lowers your opponent's anger to 0. There's not really much else you can ask from one card. Okay, he's going to declare combat. Or is he? Yes. He's resolving his when entering effect. He's going to go ahead and pull his ally out with Gohan's level 1 power. That allows him to go ahead and pull an ally out when entering combat. He pulls out the Piccolo ally, which acts as an energy block. And most useful for Gohan. It's Gohan's main personality. You can use Piccolo's energy blocking ability anytime. Okay, then I activate. I'm activating my Visiting the Past. I'm grabbing Protective Posture. That's an energy block. Draw my 3. Let's see. I drew a Gut Punch, so life's going to get hilarious. Unless he pulls out another Confrontation. He's going to pull out Overpowering Attack. That's an energy attack. Costs 2 power stages to shoot. Does 5 life cards of damage. 6 with his mastery. And then, of course, allows him to pull an ally from discard pile or life deck. But this is, of course, definitely a part of his plan, because if good old Icarus here is in play, he must be targeted first when it comes to destruction. So that means that the Gut Punch has to be used first against him, and that means, unfortunately, I won't be able to kill Oolong all in one shot. It would have been a very beautiful setup. Mario over here is not a bad player in the slightest. He carefully countered everything at the right times, so I can't fault him in the slightest. Okay, I attacked him with Piccolo's physical attack and hit him pretty hard. Made him banish a neck beam, which is a very deadly card to someone like me. I put a marker on my deck just to remember at the end of combat to resolve Piccolo's level 2 effect. He uses Mastery, he discards Blue Guard. It says when in the process of discarding it, you can go ahead and banish it to draw a card, so basically you squeeze 2 card draws out of it. And I use Leaping Kick to go ahead and advance since I have actually used up my level 2 power. That's a strategy one should strongly follow. The idea that you always take the time to use up your current level's power before trying to level up. For most people, it's not a problem. For people like me, I have to time it right. So, status of the field is pretty straightforward. He's got 3 allies in play. Normally, I would be able to basically destroy all of them simultaneously with the effect of Gut Punch, as it can target now 3 allies now they're level 3. But as long as Icarus stays in play, I can't target them. Then he took the damage from a good old Leaping Kick. Then he fires another overpowering attack. I let him resolve his effect. We're going to pull out another ally.
So he's just an omni block pretty much.
Jimmy Firecracker is basically a block for both physical and energy attacks, and then as soon as he gets used, he gets shuffled back into the deck. He's very effective. He's kind of like one of Ginyu's allies, but less complicated. I do have to take the hit, and I tried to go and use enough endurance, but I don't think I have enough on this one. No, I do not. He critical damages me, and I do... Oh yeah, I did not have 4 anger. I had 0 anger. Okay, then over to me. This is where things are going to have to get interesting.
So I'm going to go ahead and attack
Okay, I'm using one of my favorite cards ever, Namekian Backhand. Namekian Backhand is a card that says it does 3 stages of damage, can be used 3 times in one combat. The damage has to be taken on your main personality, and you cannot use endurance. I put a dice on the Namekian Backhand in order to go ahead and show off how many shots it has left so that nobody forgets, especially me. Right now he's debating it. He has plenty of power stages, but he has to be more careful because remember, he cannot redirect the damage from Namekian Backhand to one of his allies, and he cannot use endurance, so he's basically going to take every card in it for the remainder of combat. This stinks. I did not draw an energy block, even though I have plenty of them in the deck. Blue Neck Beam is not particularly damaging. That's not the trick. The trick of Blue Neck Beam is that if it hits me at the end of combat, I'm lowered 1 level. This is going to put me severely off balance. Yeah, he's Namekian Gut Punch. I should have destroyed 3 allies with this effect, but because of Icarus forcing me to target only him, I have to destroy him first. I use my physical, and I believe I am actually the upper level of E. You think for as long as I've been playing this game, I'd remember the attack table. Okay, the attack itself does +3 stages. He's at 0, so the base would be 5. Oh, he's probably going to use Jimmy Firecracker to stop it, which would probably be very, very wise.
You have a handful of energy.
Okay, he uses Jimmy Firecracker's effect to go ahead and stop the attack, and of course the rest of the effect is that he must be shuffled into the deck. Now, if you think about it for a second, maybe he should have taken the stage damage, only for the reason that he needs his allies in play and needs their power stages to keep shooting his energy attacks. Okay, he pulls one of the newer set cards out, and I apologize, I actually don't know the name of this one, but it allows him to be able to go ahead and pull back an ally, or, I'm sorry, what does he pull? I actually don't know that card well enough. No, it was not an ally. Basically, he hit me with a small life card and a physical attack. I have not used Piccolo's physical.
I'm going to go ahead and hit you with another unredirectable unprotectable 3 stages.
Oh yes, he takes 3 life card damage from the second shot of backhand. You remember, like I said, cannot redirect.
I'm going to hit you with the last shot of 1, 2.
Yeah, I damaged him pretty well. It's an AT plus 3 physical.
6, 7, 8.
8-stage physical. He's going to go and take that. He can use regular endurance.
5, 6, 7. Die and walk.
Okay, I dealt critical damage, and I choose to KO good old Oolong. Remember, now that he's dead, I may use my Dragon Ball card, the Dragon Radar, to go ahead and summon a Dragon Ball from the deck, and go ahead and begin to turn the tide. I just double check, make sure I don't target the wrong Dragon Ball, making sure what's in my banish zone, because I'm using those as my primary leveling. But remember, I will become de-level at the end of combat. Ooh, he takes a 7-stage physical attack since all of his allies have no stages to take it. I critted him again. It was just enough damage so that he could not undo it, and I destroyed Piccolo in the process. Yes, his ally is also me. I'm debating which Dragon Ball to summon, and I apologize. It must be late in the evening because I'm debating a little too long. I feel like I could have made this decision much more quickly. Look at that. I've checked it 3 times this combat. Like, it's fine. It's fine. There are no Dragon Balls in there that I have to worry about. 2 would have been neat, but he's not even off level 1. I'm just debating whether or not to use the Dragon Radar this turn.
No, I don't use Resolute Mastery. I actually pass.
I decide to go ahead and make this actually part of a later combo.
Oh yeah, so let's see, I will be 2 at the end of this combat. I have that in a second.
Yeah, I become de-leveled and I go to 5 above 0 from the effect of blue neck beam from before. However, I still resolve my level 2 effect I used earlier that combat, so I can still get the leaping kick to the top of my neck. Between me and you, I've hurt Mario here on the left here pretty badly with that round of physical attacks. I wouldn't normally have, because he should really have had more physical blocks. His deck is far too light of physical blocks. It's something I'm sure I'll correct by the time that I play against him again. Okay, I do declare combat. He's going to use Gohan's level 1 ability, the one that lets him pull an ally from the life deck, not from discard pile or banish zone. That'd be a little too powerful. Okay, I have a little bit of a plan. I have Hybrid Defense in my hand, which is an Omni block, meaning just that it stops most physical and energy attacks. And let me see, what was the other card I'm holding in my hand? Looks like he's got a Mental Drill, so he's got a card he can't use in combat in his hand. I activate Dragon Radar as the first action. I go ahead and summon Ball 3 out. Now, Ball 3 is the strongest by far of, aside from debatably Ball 7 of the Earth Dragon Balls. Now, it basically says when I bring it into play, I get to raise my anger from the mastery. It says if a Dragon Ball enters play during combat, I get to raise my anger. It says then I draw the 3 bottom cards in my discard pile, and then I get to take any 2 cards from there from my hand, not from the ones I drew necessarily, and then shuffle them back into the deck. So what am I carrying? Good, I'm hiding things from myself now. Okay, and then the last immediate effect of Dragon Ball 3 is that I raise my anger level. He ditches the drill for the mastery to go ahead and draw a card. He'll be able to prevent 4 stages, 4 life cards from the next attack that hits him, so he's setting himself up just in case. I think it's probably why he doesn't carry very many blocks. He's depending very much on that prevention. Okay, I activate Piccolo's physical, plus 4 physical, and okay, he's at 0. Oh, he takes 1 power stage of damage because of the minus effect that he had. For some reason, I check my banish zone again. I'm not even level 4 or even approaching it. I got some. Oh, I guess I'm just counting up to see how many Dragon Balls I might have left. Try to do this count better. Yeah, I do activate Leaping Kick. I do go ahead and banish 2 Dragon Balls in order to advance a level. I have now banished 6 of the 7 Dragon Balls. There's only 1 left and it's on the field. It's been an interesting round. Okay, I've advanced to level 3, cuts the deck. I did throw a physical attack at him. So I'm waiting for him to go ahead and respond. And he's going to go and take it in the form of life card damage. Okay, he's able to go ahead and endure it and take all the damage with just 2 life cards. Okay, he has a chance to respond, but if he has a handful, oh, he passes. He passes because he must have a handful of energy blocks and no stages to use it. I fire off good old Namekian Onslaught. Let's rejuvenate a card. Cost me 1 stage to fire it, and would have done 4 life cards, but he stopped it. Okay, I hit him with Piccolo 7-stage physical, and I put ball 3 into my hand. Okay, it does hit him. He has no blocks. I picked up Dragon Ball 3 and put it in my hand. Okay, that was actually the last action of the combat. I sadly was 1 card short of the ability to finish him off. I end up ditching the hybrid defense. I resolve my level 2 ability. He is in a bit of a hurry. He forgot I had to resolve my level 2 ability, and I'm in the process of resolving it. And he is really genuinely shocked that he's thrown all this stuff into play, and I'm still doing an end of combat effect. This is the last combat. He has 1 life card remaining. If he can't kill me or do something spectacular, the game is over. He was a little surprised and perhaps thought that I would have changed what card I would have pulled.
Remember the end of I used level 2 Piccolos to choose a style card to float to the top of the combat?
Oh man, you're resolving that now after I done Metal Mac?
Yeah.
I think he might have forgotten, even though I've done it at the end of almost every combat we've been in, I still need to resolve that. That's what you call a mandatory effect. You don't get to skip it. I drew a couple of cards. Sadly, I do have to take all the damage from this because I had to.
5, 6, 7.
I had, thankfully, some larger endurance cards to go ahead and sustain the damage from that attack. That was pretty significant. I did gut punch him, and that went right through him. He has no power stages, and any life cards he took are instantly killed. The game is over, and Macho Man, take us out.